Hi everybody, this is Ellen. Welcome to my kitchen. Tonight I am making the salsa chicken and I am using the quick cooker. It's our version of the pressure cooker. If you want to save time in your kitchen, invest in the pressure cooker. And if you already have one, then you are already ahead of the game. Okay? So this recipe is very simple. A lot of times if I make this recipe, I have leftovers, and then the next day I use the leftovers and I make a completely different recipe. But tonight it's just me and my husband, so I'm going to make just enough for the two of us, okay? So anyway, here we have the pressure cooker. I'm just going to remove the lid and show you a couple things. Before anything, you want to make sure that your lid is ready to go for pressure cooking, okay? So this button, if you can see it, it's pushed down. You need to push it again so that it is flush with the handle. It's very, very important that you do that, or else your recipe will not pressurize, okay? Your quick cooker will not. Another thing is this icon right here. It's like a little chef's hat. It needs to point towards the button. So two things. Can you get it there? Okay. So two steps. The button needs to be flush, and this icon needs to point towards the button. This is actually, it controls the direction of the steam. So that's it. Two steps, and you're good to go. So I'm going to place the lid down, and I'm going to move on with my recipe. Okay. In here, I have a 6-quart inner pot that goes inside the pressure cooker. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill the pot with my ingredients. And you can bring the pot to you, or you can go to the pot. It's whatever's easiest. It's not on. All it is just plugged in, okay? The light right here indicates that it's on, and that's it. The power is on, but it hasn't started. 65% of your time in the kitchen is spent on prep work, so get your prep work done before the actual cooking, right? Okay, so a couple things. I am going to cut the onion. I'm just using a half an onion right here. And I want to let you know, here's a cooking tip for you. If you know you're not going to use the whole onion, leave the root attached to it, okay? Because what's going to happen is if you wrap this in saran wrap, it'll last in your fridge for about 7 to 10 days, all right? So that's a little cooking tip so you don't waste it. In this case, I'm going to use it all. So just peel away the skin, okay, the part that you're not going to use. Clear your board. All right. All I'm going to do is cut it in chunks, just like that. Throw it in the pot. In here, I already have portioned out some chicken, just enough for my husband and I. It's about 1.5 pounds, okay? It's boneless, skinless chicken breast. I just throw it in here. Then I am going to take some salsa and some garlic. Some garlic. Let's do the garlic first, okay? Garlic is so good for you. All right, this is our garlic press. If you don't have one, very, very important to have in the kitchen. You don't need to peel your garlic. Just take your garlic clove, put it inside, and you're going to press, okay? When you press, you squeeze out all the garlic right here. This part, you just discard, all right? Just real quick and simple, just like that. We love garlic, so we're going to put in quite a bit, okay? You can see all the garlic right here. Remove and discard, and I'm going to put one more, okay? There we go. That's a whole lot of garlic right here. It's good for the immune system. Eat lots of garlic. Okay. All right, so right here I have a whole bunch of garlic. I'm going to put it in the pot right here. And the best part, easiest part, is just a jar of salsa or homemade salsa, whatever. When you pressure cook, it's really important to use at least 1 cup of liquid, okay? So in this case, I'm going to use 1 cup of salsa, all right? And real quick, here's a tool. It's called the jar opener. If you have carpal tunnel, if your wrists aren't really strong, I suggest you get a jar opener. If you're right-handed like myself, hold the jar opener with your left hold the jar with your right. Then you're gonna turn, whoopsies, you're gonna turn both inwards like this, and then you open it. So if you have a lot of people in the house that tend to use 2-liter bottles and they close it really, really tight and you can't get it open, use the jar opener. All right, this is a 16-ounce jar. All I'm gonna do is use about half of it. Okay? And save the rest for another time. And that is it, okay? So if you wanna take a look in here, this is all I have right in there, okay? Now I'm gonna put it in the quick cooker, put the lid on. Since I've already done my double checks right here, it's ready to go on. Close it completely. I'm gonna take the dial here, turn it. As you watch the LED light, I'm just gonna put it right to chicken and poultry. As you can see, the number 15 is displayed. That means it takes 15 minutes to cook, okay? So I'm gonna start it. Now, the quick cooker is just like an oven. It needs time to preheat, okay? So it's gonna take about 5 or so minutes to preheat. Once it preheats, the number 15 will display and it'll start to count down. When it's finished, it'll beep at you, and then I'll manually release the pressure here, and then dinner will be ready. So while that's pressurizing, I'm gonna move on to the next step, okay? So I'm gonna clean my board right here. Okay? And now I'm gonna start prepping other things. Now, first, let's make salsa, okay? I'm gonna use my corn more. Remove the stem part, okay? This is a really good tool, just simply because you don't waste anything. Yes, you could take your knife to it, but then you'd waste a lot of the fruit or the vegetable, okay? So, with this, I'm gonna pre-cut, because I'm gonna put it in my manual food processor. I'm just gonna whip up a salsa. Put some tomatoes in here. I'm going to use some onion. Right here. I'm going to grab some cilantro, which I left in the fridge. So I'll be right back. You can hit pause too if you want. Let's see that. Okay, I have some cilantro, which I'm going to rinse real quick. Put it in here. That's a whole bunch of cilantro that my husband doesn't like. Put the top on this. This is the manual food processor. So all I'm going to do now is pump it. And so what this does is it actually starts to chop and process your fruit and vegetable in here. And it controls, you can control the coarseness of your food. Okay, so let's see. I'm looking at this right now, and I think I want it a little bit more fine. And that's good, right here. So remove this. And I'm just going to put the salsa right in here. This is the small Kool-Aid syrup, this platter. And we have gel packs that we can store on the bottom. So if you want to travel with it, it keeps your food cold 4 to 6 hours. Okay. Now the manual food processor, The lid is not dishwasher safe, so you want to just run it underneath the faucet. But everything else is. Okay? So you can use the bowl and the blade and put it in the dishwasher. So what I'm going to do right now is clean my board, or better yet, get a new one. And then at this point, I'm going to grate the cheese, okay? So I need to pull out my grater, because again, I forgot it. This is called the veggie stripper, okay? So this veggie stripper allows you to take maybe a zucchini, squash, a carrot, anything like that, and you just run it up and down and you'll get long strips of anything. So it's great for stir fries if you want to use that for, but I use it for my cheese, okay? My cheese, I'm just gonna run it back and forth, and it does a really quick job. So all I'm doing is I'm grating my cheese. And be careful, even though this is plastic and you're not paying attention, you can still get a fingernail or two, okay? So be very careful. The veggie stripper is dishwasher safe, which is very, very nice. Okay, I'm getting down to the very bottom of this cheese. And you can still continue. There you go. Okay, then I'm going to take the second piece. And then here's a little tip too if you're grating cheese. If your cheese is soft and it feels like it's just kind of mushing together, put it in the freezer for about 5 minutes, let it harden a little bit, and then run it up against the grater again. And you'll find that it grates very, very easily after that, okay? This is also really good for Parmesan cheese, any kind of cheese that you want, actually. All right. All right, flip it over, clean the bottom. That's it, okay? All right, so I'm going to take this, take my flexible cutting board, and then I'm going to pour it in the container. Now whenever I make fajitas or tacos or anything like that, I usually serve all the fixings in the cool and serve, because it kind of helps eliminate extra bowls and what have you. Right here, okay. The center part, I like to put sour cream. In this case, I'm just going to put Greek yogurt because I like Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is a great substitute for sour cream. Okay, and maybe one more. And if you want to spice up your Greek yogurt, add some hot sauce to it and mix it up, and you've got nice spicy sour creamish Greek yogurt kind of thing. Okay? All right. So here we have the small cool and serve. And right now I'm just going to put the lid on, set it to the side, because we are going to wait for the chicken salsa, or the salsa chicken. Okay? Here I have some corn tortillas. Now, I probably have about maybe 8 of them. And this is our tortilla warmer, all right? It's actually made out of fabric, which is really cool, because when you're done with it, you can wash it. I'm going to put the corn tortillas in here, and all it takes is just minutes for it to warm up. So I'm going to throw it in the microwave. I'm actually going to put it in for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. You can put it in however long you want, but for me, because it's just a small amount, I just put it in for a couple minutes.